Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by our dear brother who is saying that he comes from West Africa. The message reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? My brother, I am a man who is from West Africa, even though I do not want to tell you where exactly I come from, but I come from West Africa. So, my brother, when I came here, it was through this other organization. It was a joint organization from our country as well as this other organization that is here in South Africa. So I came here as a missionary. We will go around preaching the good word of the Lord. When I came here, Brother Nashi, I was not someone who was like a bad person, but I think that South Africa will do something to you. I don't know, maybe it is the way of life, or maybe it is the fast life. So when I came here, I landed in Durban, and at the church where I was going to, like at the place, that church that had called us into South Africa, there was this other lady that was assigned to me. This lady, she is married to a man who is dealing in oil, a very rich man. He has a lot of businesses. He's also here in Durban. As we were going out, giving out the Bibles, especially those New Testaments, the small ones, those were the ones that we would go out and we will give it to people. Sometimes we will be called at different farms. Then we will go to those farms. Then we will hand over the Bibles to the farm workers. So me and this woman, we ended up spending a lot of time. This lady, she would call me. Sometimes she would call me somewhere around 2 a.m. Then when I would ask her where her husband was at, then she would just cry, or she would say, never mind, I just wanted to hear if you are okay. With time, I asked her what was going to happen if her husband was going to find out that she calls me a lot, because on a daily basis, sometimes she would call me maybe 5 to 6 or 7 times, and she would be like, have you eaten anything? Do you want to come to my place so that I can cook for you? You know, these takeaways that you are surviving on, they are not nice. She even told me that she had prepared this other dish from our own country, and she was bringing over to that apartment where I was staying. She came, Brother Nashi, and this woman, she is someone who has a well-built body with the curves in the right places, and she was wearing this other very tight jean and the way she was dressed, she wanted to show me all the curves and everything. I kept on looking to the side, but I felt that the spirit of adultery had finally gotten hold of me, and there was no escape. This woman, I was going to sleep with her, and already I was missing my wife, the one that I had left back home in my country. So me and her, we avoided each other just for a brief period of time, until one day she called me late at night and she said that she was in pain. I asked her what was going on. She then told me that she was going to come and pick me up so that we can go and get some fresh air. Whilst we were seated at that restaurant, I then saw that this woman, she was not getting all the love and attention from her husband. Her husband, all that he cared about was money, and you know that when a man has a lot of money, he has a lot of options. So the guy was dating a lot of these young women that were always chasing after him, so he did not have any time for his own wife. On that dinner date that we had, then this woman told me that it was now close to 2 months. She didn't know what it meant anymore to make love to a man. And she said this when she was looking at me, and immediately I knew what she wanted me to say. I then told her that she was the most attractive woman in the world, and she started to smile. And on that same night, me and her, we ended up having sex. So we went to this other hotel because she said she didn't want to come to my apartment, since at that apartment where I was staying, there were some people from church. We went to this other hotel and we slept at that hotel, but I was always scared. I kept on asking her what was going to happen if her husband was going to find out. She told me a lot of stories. She told me that her husband does not care about her. Her husband only married her because of her looks. She's very beautiful. She's a trophy wife, so that when her husband is going around meeting these other very big politicians, then he will be seen hanging around his beautiful wife. So this is the reason as to why he got married to her. There is no love there. And that is the reason as to why he continued cheating on her. So my brother, this woman told me that if you want, you and I, we can have this secret relationship, and I'm going to do all that I can so that at least your papers can be sorted out. I was more than excited, but deep down in my heart, I felt that this thing that I was doing, it was quite evil. Back home, Brother Nashi, I was someone who was known to be a prayer warrior, but I lost myself when I came to South Africa. Within a short period of time, I was already drinking beer, and I swear to you, Brother Nashi, that from the day that I was born until that time that I came to South Africa, I had never touched alcohol. I had never touched any cigarettes. But because of this woman, I started to take alcohol. I started to smoke cigarettes. And you know that I am a man who has a wife. So this woman then said that I want you to go back to your country so that you can just see your wife and kids for the last time, because when you return here, I want you to be mine. So she said that she wanted to have 2 husbands, and I was going to be the secret lover. No one was going to find out about this, and she had told me that if I was going to attempt to date another South African lady, she was going to make sure that I was going to go 6 feet underground. She meant what she said, Brother Nashi. I then returned back to my country and I spoke with my wife. I then returned back to my country and I was with my wife for 2 months, and I was supposed to return back to South Africa. On my return trip, I spoke with my uncle. He's the one who knows about this whole issue. I just wanted to hear his own opinion. I said, there in South Africa, there is a lady who is married to a very rich man. I don't know what I am supposed to do. Should I grab this opportunity with both hands? But if I am going to grab this opportunity, unfortunately, I have to dump my wife. And when I was looking at my wife, she looked so sad. She was really sad because she loved me with all of her heart, and she knew that very soon I was going to return back to South Africa, and I didn't know when I would be returning back home. So she was sad. She wanted to come with me to South Africa so that we can continue staying together, but it was impossible. I didn't have the money to do that yet. He then said, come, let us take a walk. I then got up and he also got up. Then we started walking around the village where we were headed to. I didn't even know where exactly we were headed to. It was only after we had entered into this other voodoo priest's compound that was when I knew that my uncle, he wanted me to get some of these charms. We entered into that herbalist compound and my uncle spoke with that herbalist on my behalf. The total sum of money that was needed, it was equivalent to 30,000 rands. I said, that's money that you want. Currently, I do not have it. I cannot afford it. So I was given that option that when I will come here to South Africa, then after getting this money, then I had to send it back home. So the charms that were done on me, Brother Nash, is that I was then given this other calabash. The way that these charms were performed on my body, I was told that I had to buy a chicken, and he told me to buy this chicken from him. So I bought the chicken from this herbalist and he told me to slaughter. I slaughtered this chicken when I was naked, and I didn't use like a knife or anything to slaughter this chicken. I used my teeth. I was biting it by the neck area until there was blood that was coming out. When the blood came out, I was told to make sure that all of this blood was falling into this other small calabash that he had given me, and I was told to wash my own manhood using the blood of that chicken. When I was doing that, Brother Nashi, one of his assistants came and started to wash my own manhood, like Brother Nashi, another man holding my manhood and washing it with the blood of that chicken that I had slaughtered. I was then taken to the river I had to speak with the river goddess. I spoke with the river goddess, and I was told to say the name of this South African lady that I was dating that was promising me a better life. I spoke her name, and I saw a python, Brother Nashi. This python came out of water. This python came out of the river. It came, then it wrapped itself around me and around my waist. Then it started to suck and it started to lick my manhood. And I was told that I was not supposed to bath, neither was I supposed to make love to my wife until I would have returned to South Africa. And when I would have landed in South Africa, I was supposed to sleep with that lady before I would have taken a shower. This lady, when she came, she actually said that there is something that is smelly, but I can't figure it out. And she never thought that it was me who was smelling like that. After we had made love, I knew that finally she was going to be mine. I was going to be able to control her. Even up until today, I control her. This lady, she is the one who is taking care of me. She is also taking care of my wife back home in our country. As for my wife thinks that I am working really hard here in South Africa. I am actually building the house of my dreams back in the village from where I come from. It is like a mansion. It is not yet finished. I was telling myself that once I have finished this house that I am building, then I'll run away and return back home, because I do not want this woman to suffer anymore. I can say that the money that she has spent on me, maybe it is close to 2 million or so. Here I'm talking about 2 million rands. That is the amount of cash that she has plashed on me, including the car, the rentals, and stuff like that. This is my own confession. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by our dear brother. Strange things do happen in this world.